Good afternoon. During the last several years, Kentuckians have faced unprecedented challenges. We faced a pandemic, tornadoes, ice storms, inflation, we're even dealing with a war in Europe. Each of these challenges has been tough, some even deadly. But in each, we've done what we do best: come together, push through, and push forward. And while we were facing those challenges, we were also building the foundation for a brighter tomorrow. That brighter tomorrow is here. In 2021, Kentucky had its best year for private sector investment and job growth in our state's history. And 2022 is set to be our second best year ever, at least. In August, we, Kentucky, led the entire country in new job growth. And in September, we tied for first. I cannot remember in my lifetime leading the country in new job growth, and we've now done it for 2 straight months. From September 2021 to September 2022, Kentucky added more than 80,000 new jobs, the largest number of new jobs we've added in over 20 years. Over the last 18 months, we've emerged as the electric vehicle battery production capital of the United States of America and the agri-tech capital of the U.S. We're home to the largest investments in the history of Ford Motor Company, of Amazon, and of so many others. We're reshoring companies that have previously moved to Mexico. We're manufacturing goods the experts said would never be made in the United States, and we're doing it in Kentucky. And our employers are even boosting our national security by making rare earth metal magnets in Louisville, for instance, and recycling lithium so we won't be dependent on China for any of our vehicle batteries. We're going to be doing that in Hopkinsville. We're doing all this while posting record low unemployment rates for the longest consecutive streak in state history, holding at or below 3.9% since April of 2022. We had never done that before in this state. After all we have been through, this is really exciting. More potential in front of us, more possibilities for future generations than many of us ever thought was possible. But all opportunity comes with its set of challenges. With such low unemployment, and with our baby boomers, the largest generation living on planet Earth, retiring, we must be both smart and innovative to make sure we can grow our workforce and our population in order to ensure that we grasp our potential. Over the last year, we've been announcing programs and initiatives to do just that. First, we know that we lose some of our young adults when they graduate from high school. They are good people and good workers. So we launched the Everybody Counts pilot program aimed at placing every young adult either in higher education or in a job before they graduate from high school. Working with the legislature, we've now invested over $170 million in career and technical programs in our high schools, ensuring everyone who wants to go directly into the workforce has the skills to get a really good job. And these investments are paying off. Just look at the 70-plus new jobs that Atlas announced in Breckinridge County based on their relationship with their public schools career and technical program. We also know that some of our people are not healthy enough to work. So we're breaking down those barriers. Just about 2 weeks ago, I announced we'd be expanding our state Medicaid program to cover vision, hearing, and dental. And the reasons are simple. If we want people to go to work, they have to be able to see well enough to drive to work. And if we want people to be safe on a job site, they've got to be able to hear the direction and instructions on the job site. We also know that too many young parents, especially mothers, are currently out of the workforce. I will once again be pushing for the passage and funding of universal pre-K, which has proven to be the fastest way to improve the maternal workforce and, of course, make sure every Kentucky child is kindergarten ready and nobody starts behind in that crucial starting year. We also know that addiction and challenges in recovery have impacted our workforce. So over the past several years, we've worked with the Chamber and others to open and expand access to treatment. Recently, one of our largest treatment providers told me that he believes that Kentucky now has more treatment beds per capita than just about any other state, meaning those that are suffering from addiction, there is help and there is a bed waiting for you. We created the Kentucky Transformational Employment Program to help employers in their efforts to hire and support employees impacted by addiction. And we continue to work on new tools to help those in recovery, most recently launching a recovery housing tool. But there is one other area where we must push forward: to rebuild families and to rebuild lives, to provide the dignity of work. Today we're talking about second chances for those involved in our criminal justice system. For me, so much of this work originates from my faith. It teaches me that there are second chances in life and that we are all our brother and sister's keeper, and none of us are our worst moment. Scripture tells us, be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as in Christ God forgave you. That's why on my third day of office, I restored voting rights to Kentuckians who had completed their sentences for nonviolent, non-sexual offenses, and now about 187,000 Kentuckians have had those rights restored. Over the years, we've continued to work to remove workforce barriers for Kentuckians impacted by incarceration. We launched a statewide project that provides transportation to former inmates so they can get addiction treatment, get to job interviews, education, and employment. That program is currently helping about 50,000 Kentuckians. We remove barriers to reentry by tasking our Department of Corrections with issuing certificates of employability to those who successfully complete programs while incarcerated. Folks, 95% of the state inmate population will be released from incarceration at some point. So to keep our community safer and to reduce the chances of someone returning to prison, we need to ensure there is a good paying job for the best possibility of success. And we have seen some historic progress. Today, our current recidivism rate is at a historic low. Let me say that again. Today, our historic recidivism rate is at a historic low. So today we go further. Today, along with the Chamber and the Cabinet, we're announcing and proud to announce our continuing efforts to support our workforce and help our justice-involved population with our new Prison to Work Pipeline program. That is a partnership by the state and the Kentucky Chamber of Commerce. Thank you, Ashley, the Chamber's president and CEO, for being here with us today. This program will be at all 13 state prisons and 19 local jails that currently house state inmates. Employers across all 120 counties will now be able to virtually interview incarcerated Kentuckians. The ultimate goal is for these folks to have a job start date before they leave prison. The pipeline program will also help individuals with their resumes and preparing them for interviews. We absolutely know through decades of research and data that when these individuals have employment and housing, they are far less likely to reoffend, which makes us safer, and they're far less likely to return to prison. To be successful, it takes a team effort. And I'm glad here in Kentucky we have a lot of people living out their values and trying to help folks rebuild their lives. Together we'll be connecting inmates with employers who are looking for candidates, and we'll be able to better match them with industries where they have prior experience so they can succeed. With the number of jobs, not just that we have out there right now, but that we are creating every day, there's a better opportunity for second chance employment than ever before. So those that have made mistakes, those that are currently incarcerated, this is maybe the best opportunity anyone has ever had when you come out to rebuild your life, to have secure employment, to get back with your family, to make sure what landed you in incarceration isn't what you are remembered for, but what it is you're going to do when you get the opportunity and get out. And none of this would be possible without amazing employers willing to engage in second chance employment. So today we're going to see a video about Bobby Newberry, who is making the very most of his second chance, along with representatives from Florida Tile in Lawrenceburg, which is ensuring that people have that opportunity to rebuild their lives.
This has impacted my plans and goals by being able to put me in a situation to where I can move up instead of being at the bottom all the time. While I was in prison, I got my GED, to ensure that I could be lead or supervisor or something at a company.
It can benefit our current workforce. With the unemployment numbers so low, there are more jobs than people. Participating in this program is opening up an additional resource that we can use when seeking employees. Giving formerly incarcerated employees a fair chance is a win for us. Not only a win for us, but a win for them. It's good for the economy, communities, and businesses. Returning citizens appreciate having a second chance to work hard and make the most of it. I've not only seen this from Mr. Newberry, but I've also seen it from other people.
You know, there's some good people. Some people have made mistakes, some people haven't, some people got caught, some didn't. You know, talk to these people. When I interview people, I do a really long interview with them. I get to know them. The longer you interview them, they're gonna talk to you. You're gonna know if they're sincere, if they're gonna want to move forward. And you can find a really good worker.
My recommendation is to listen to your reentry coordinator when you get out from any institution or you're getting ready to get out. Sign up for it. The people of the pilot program is awesome. They make it simple for you, no questions. They'll help you.
They are not their past. They are seeking the same basic things in life that we all are. It's not just about giving them a job. It's about giving them a chance to remake their lives, support their families, and strengthen their communities.
Well, I want to thank Bobby and Florida Tile for both what we just saw and heard. We saw Bobby working a great job, but what we heard is not only the value that Florida Tile sees in second chance employment, but Bobby coming into it with the opportunity for upward mobility. Today, we're also announcing that the Department of Correction is launching a new virtual learning program that teaches job interviews and skills. Inmates at the Kentucky Correctional Institution for Women and Luther Luckett Correctional Complex are already going through this program, learning how to best answer interview questions. It gives me a lot of hope hearing the stories already that are coming out of this program. And thanks to the technology we have in place, we're confident we can expand this virtual learning program statewide by next year. We are working on all fronts to boost our workforce, and we are focused on the areas where we know there are people. There are people that are ready with the opportunity to make our communities safer and reduce recidivism at the same time. We recognize the urgency of doing all we can to make it easier for people to find a good paying job, one that they can be proud of, one that puts food on the table, one where they can sit across from their kids at dinner or at breakfast and feel proud of what they do and the opportunities that they're leaving for that next generation. Before I close, I want to again thank all the employers that are involved. Because of your support, I know our families and our communities will continue to thrive, and I hope more employers join us on this mission. Here in Kentucky, we lead with our values. We lift up our neighbors, and by working together, we will build a brighter future for all of us. That's why I'm proud to be a Kentuckian. Our people, our kindness and compassion give me hope not just for the future, but for the kids right now, like mine, that are growing up in the Commonwealth. Now, we often focus on our differences, but I'm convinced that every parent and grandparent across Kentucky share one dream, that our kids or our grandkids will never have to leave the Commonwealth of Kentucky if they don't want to, because we make sure they can chase every dream and every possibility right here. As the dad of a 12 and a 13-year-old, I feel urgency in trying to make sure we can make that happen, not just for generations to come, but that generation growing up in Kentucky right now. We are closer than ever. We still have a ways to go, but I can guarantee you this administration will work day in and day out. It's very personal to us. Now I'm going to ask Secretary Carrie Harvey to join us.
Good afternoon. Pleasure to be with you today, and we're here today to announce a great step in building a better Kentucky in partnership with our friends at the Kentucky Chamber of Commerce, and we appreciate the partnership very much. This is a particularly timely initiative as Kentucky is enjoying unprecedented economic growth. Kentucky's economy is producing good jobs at record numbers. Kentucky is at the pinnacle of the nation in growing a vibrant, prosperous economy. but our employers need good workers to fill these good jobs. Today's initiative marries this need with the fundamental precepts of redemption and second chances. The Department of Corrections, in partnership with the Chamber, is building a prison to work pipeline which will provide opportunities to Kentuckians reentering society from incarceration through services offered at all 13 state prisons and 19 local jails that house state inmates. The goal, as the governor indicated, is to pair reentering inmates with employers who need help throughout Kentucky in all 120 counties. The Department of Corrections, through its Division of Reentry Services, will facilitate virtual interviews, and our Division of Reentry Services will work very hard with our inmates to see that every one of them, before they leave prison, are equipped with the tools necessary to be good employees, good dads, good moms, and good citizens. The goal is for reentering inmates to have a job offer and ready to start to work the day they walk out of the gate. We've always worked hard in the Department of Corrections to provide job training to our reentering inmates, but job training is not the same as having a job. Why is this so important? Well, the data demonstrates very clearly that reentering inmates who have meaningful employment with a chance to advance in life do much better, exponentially better, than those who don't. So this program will contribute to a lower recidivism rate, and that's a win for all of us. Programs such as this one, which reduce recidivism, means fewer resources expended on incarceration. It means less crime, and it means a safer Kentucky for all of us. It also means that we are healing broken lives and broken families. When we get it right, the benefits of a program like this are immediate and tangible, but these benefits also echo through the generations because this initiative will change the trajectory of families for generations. Like many Kentuckians, my faith is grounded in the proposition that we're all in need of redemption and that we are all afforded a second chance. The Prison to Work Pipeline initiative that we announced today puts that principle in action. So it's the right thing to do. The successes we will see from this partnership with our friends at the Kentucky Chamber of Commerce will tangibly benefit not only employers who need good workers in a booming Kentucky economy, it will also benefit the inmates who will find meaningful employment and the hope for a better future that comes with that. And you know, meaningful employment provides for families, it puts food on the table today, but a good job is more than that. A good job represents hope, a hope for a better future for themselves and for their children and grandchildren. And where there's hope, all good things are possible. Where there's no hope, there's only struggle. This will provide hope. It will also mean that we will have a safer Kentucky, we'll have less crime, and every community in the Commonwealth will be better off. So this is not just the right thing to do, it's the smart thing to do. When you're doing what's right and you're doing what's smart, I think you're on the right track, and that's what we're doing today. So I salute my friends in the Kentucky Chamber of Commerce and the participating employers in this innovative initiative. We appreciate your compassion and your farsightedness. There's a lot we can do to prepare inmates for successful reentry into society. We can address educational needs and emotional needs and job training needs, but we can't provide jobs, and these employers are going to provide that vital ingredient to successful reentry. And I thank Governor Beshear, who supports steadfastly innovating programming such as this that make our Commonwealth a better place for Kentucky families. And finally, I want to acknowledge the extraordinarily dedicated staff of the Department of Corrections and its Division of Reentry Services. The leadership is seated in the back here. These folks have incredibly difficult jobs. The skill with which Commissioner Cruz and her staff deliver for Kentucky benefits us all every day in ways seen and unseen. My friends and colleagues at the Department of Corrections are Team Kentucky All-Stars, and I just want you to know that I'm honored to be associated with you and your vital work. Thank you very much. Pleasure to be with you.
Next up, we'll hear from Ashley Watts, president of the Kentucky Chamber. The Kentucky Chamber has worked, and Ashley has worked, to face so many challenges alongside this administration, from pandemic to so many others. If we went back to March of 2020, this would be the type of challenge we would pray and work to address together. We appreciate this collaboration. We would not be launching this program without the Chamber and the ability to bring so many employers to the table. Ashley?
Thank you, Governor, and thank you, Secretary. When it comes to key issues for Kentucky businesses, workforce ranks at the very top. Here in Kentucky, I know we know some of these numbers, but workforce participation is 58% and is still below pre-pandemic levels. This means we have the 7th lowest workforce participation rate in the nation. And we know there are a multitude of factors that contribute to this, but today we are here to talk about 2 critical drivers: substance use disorder and criminal records. There are more than 160,000 open jobs throughout the Commonwealth and less than 80,000 people actively looking for a career. That is 2 jobs for every 1 person looking. We also know that the more open jobs will be coming with all the economic development announcements that the governor mentioned earlier. To help ensure that we have a workforce to fill the jobs of today and tomorrow, we need to make sure that every Kentuckian who wants to work is fully able to do so. In many instances, this means removing barriers to employment. One such barrier is trying to join the workforce with a criminal record or with a history of substance use disorder and all the challenges that come along with that. Every year here in Kentucky, there are an estimated 300,000 people that are released from jail. That's more than 800 releases a day. And what happens to these Kentuckians? Well, about 1 in 3 recidivate. They commit a crime or a technical violation and end up back in jail. But we know connection to meaningful employment reduces that cycle of recidivism. It also helps address our workforce challenges. The Chamber has been involved in changing the tides and the narratives of this issue for many years. As the state's largest business association, we understand the importance of ensuring that all Kentuckians have what they need to be successful. The Chamber has worked closely with the governor and with lawmakers to bring programs to life and to pass new laws to help move our state forward. Since 2018, the Chamber Foundation has been proud to partner with the state to create a fair chance talent pipeline and workforce recovery program. Throughout this effort, we have recruited over 35,000 fair chance jobs for individuals returning home from incarceration or treatment for substance use disorder. In our shared efforts to develop these talent pipelines, we are working with employers throughout the Commonwealth in key industries to promote growth-oriented careers that are in high demand for those coming out of treatment or incarceration. For example, we set up a skilled trade training program for inmates at Blackburn Correctional Facility and helped link them to employment once they completed the training. There have also been many laws supported by the Chamber that have helped Kentuckians get back into the workforce after incarceration, including Senate Bill 191, passed in 2020, that established the Kentucky Transformational Employer Program. And just this past year, Senate Bill 90, to set up a pilot program to provide eligible individuals a path to treatment over incarceration. These laws will truly help move Kentucky forward. We are grateful to legislators on both sides of the aisle for their leadership on this bill and then signed into law by our governor, who's been so supportive as well. As part of this work, we have engaged an employer network of nearly 1,000 businesses throughout the Commonwealth that are creating second chance opportunities and recruiting from this population for their talent strategy. Together, we have also helped hundreds of employers update their workplace policies and HR manuals when it comes to substance use disorder and hiring those in need of a second chance. This has helped make it possible for nearly 20,000 Kentuckians in recovery to have the needed support services and benefits in the workplace to help combat this disease and to stay employed. We are proud to partner with this work. Together, we are proving that helping more formerly incarcerated individuals find employment is good for those needing a second chance, it's good for employers, it's good for our economy, and it's good for the Commonwealth. Thank you.
All right, any questions? Well, to any employer that's on the fence about joining the program, talk to an employer that's in the program. Get that firsthand account. Look at what's going on at Florida Tile, about the commitment that their employees who have gone through this program have shown at the workforce. The other is, how about sign up and start interviewing? See what you think. Give it a shot, and right now, there is real significant opportunity. Now, we have a number of employers, thankfully, that are already in the program, but we do need more, and this is a great place not only to secure employees that are going to value every day that they have a chance to come into work, but you can help rebuild a life and rebuild a family, and that's pretty special. Yes?
How does a company who's interested in participating, how do they sign up?
Secretary Harvey? You want to?
I think you can contact,
Here you go.
you can contact the Kentucky Chamber, or you can contact the Department of Corrections Division of Reentry Services, and I'm sure either organization would be more than happy to sign up new employers.
All right. Great. Thank you all very much.